German strategic naval planners knew that in order to sustain any U-boat offensive in distant shores, the operational boats would need to be resupplied. Except for a handful of friendly ports, the Axis powers did not share the privilege as the Allied forces in having friendly foreign bases in which they could resupply. As a result, a supply U-tanker design was proposed in 1934, which role was to conduct U-boat replenishment at sea. This led to the Type 4 design, a 2,500-ton supply U-boat. Since operational U-boats were the priority, the Type 4 design was dropped. It was not until September 1939 that the project was revived when Donitz raised the request to construct 3 supply U-boats with a tonnage of 2,000 tons each. The supply boats was required to have good storage capacity and a suitable upper deck for the transfer of the stores. The engineers based their design on the existing much larger Type 9D, but shortened it and gave it a much wider upper deck. The hull was also deeper and constructed of thicker pressure hull, giving it deeper diving capabilities than the Type 9. To maximize storage capacity, it had no torpedo attack capability, but was fitted with anti-aircraft weapons for self-defense. Because of their role as supply U-boats, the Type 14 was nicknamed milk cows or Milchkuh in German. They acted as force multipliers, wherein a network of supply U-boats would replenish operational boats with the much-needed torpedoes, food, fuel, and other provisions. They also carried a doctor on board and a bakery which could provide freshly baked bread. In effect, the Type 14 enabled operational boats to remain much longer in their patrol zones, significantly increasing their presence. A total of 10 Type 14 were built, but from an original order of 24 boats. 11 were cancelled and the further 3 were nearly complete when their orders 2 were cancelled in mid-1944. The Allies knew the threat posed by these supply boats and made a determined effort to wipe them out. All 10 boats were sunk. By necessity, the large Type 9D was pressed into service as supply boats. Replenishment at sea suffered from 2 major shortcomings. First, a great deal of radio traffic was required to set up rendezvous. These messages were frequently intercepted. By mid-1943, virtually all planned rendezvous were known well in advance by the Allies. Secondly, the replenishment exercise was time-consuming and had to be done on the surface. The replenishing boats were especially vulnerable as it could not dive to evade enemy attacks. The Allies, particularly the Americans, used this to their fullest advantage, which resulted in the complete destruction of the supply boats. On the 24 boats ordered, 10 Type 14s entered operational service. 7 had conducted successful resupply missions, while 3 were sunk on their first mission. The first Type 14 was U-459 under the command of Georg von Mühlendorf, commissioned in November 1941 and made her first patrol in April 1942. The last Type 14 was U-490 under Wilhelm Gerlach, commissioned in March 1943 and sunk in June 1944 during her first sortie. The supply boats paid a high price with their none surviving the war. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and support my channel on PayPal. Details in the description box.